We live in a world that constantly demands more from us. Our to-do list grows longer, our commitments seem to pile up, and the weight of expectations can often feel like too much to bear. It's easy to feel like we're drowning in tasks, drowning in endless information, and drowning in the pressure to be everything to everyone. And whenever we get there in life, overwhelm becomes the default state. But this talk is to remind you that the more significant the challenge, the greater the development in the process, and the better the quality of life is on the other side of whatever it is you're facing today. You were not designed to be overwhelmed. You were designed to grow, to thrive, and to rise above every challenge. It's usually the things that we don't expect that cause us to feel overwhelmed. One thing about life is it throws unexpected twists and turns at us. Sometimes life comes at you fast, and you don't always see the twists, the turns coming. And because we don't see them coming often, we don't always know how to react in a situation. When it comes to overwhelm, some of us freeze, some of us panic, some of us get angry because we feel like we're spinning out of control in life. I remember as a kid, I used to hate being late. I hated being late to the point that I would get an actual attitude if I even thought for a second that we were going to be late. Looking back at it, you can say, well, here's this spoiled, bratty kid that was just fussing because he didn't get his way. But what I wasn't able to articulate as a child, now as an adult, I completely get. Because the real reason that I would get angry, the real reason I would have an attitude, whether it was right or not, was the simple fact that I was becoming overwhelmed by a situation that was out of my control. And as a kid, I was becoming overcome with anxiety over what others will do or say if I'm late. It was all about getting the nod of approval from others. And my feeling of overwhelm turned to aggression. And for years, my way of dealing with overwhelm was to just get angry. But it was still rooted in that same feeling that I had as a child. Now, for you, maybe you don't get mad. Maybe you're someone who runs away when you feel overwhelmed. Maybe you're someone who's stagnant and just breaks into tears, feeling paralyzed by the moment. Overwhelm strikes when we least expect it. And when it does, self-doubt creeps in. And suddenly, we feel helpless. Suddenly, we feel like our minds are spinning, our life is spinning, and we can't stop it. But here's what I want you to know, is you have the power to stop the spin. When your mind feels cluttered and full of distractions, you can find that inner peace in the midst of chaos. Take a deep breath, refocus, and know that you are not your thoughts. You are not your stress. You are the calm in the midst of the storm. Self-confidence is the key to navigating these feelings, because the feeling of overwhelm often comes because we are consumed by self-doubt. If you had complete confidence in your ability to handle whatever comes your way, if you had complete faith, would you still feel overwhelmed? You might have a moment where you're like, oh, wow, that's unexpected. But you know what? I got it. We'll figure it out. I know exactly what I can do here. And if I don't know what to do, I've already been in a situation that's similar or maybe even worse, and I got out of that. I'm going to get out of this too. I just need to figure it out. The truth is our overwhelm often stems from us doubting our own ability to rise to the occasion when challenges hit. This is why whenever you feel overwhelmed, it is extremely important to ask yourself why. Many times when the feeling hits, we retreat into our triggers, whether that's anger, whether that's running away, or whether that's just freezing. But a healthier response is to take a moment and to love yourself enough to ask, why am I feeling this way? Now, beware Sometimes you'll ask yourself that question and you'll find that the problem is you. Many times I have found my overwhelm to be my own fault. Maybe it was a task I had delayed and now I'm having to scramble. When you identify that you're the source of your own stress, don't get frustrated with yourself, but focus on action. Make a note of what you did incorrectly so you don't repeat it. Don't get me wrong, but understand that the only way that you get out of a situation is by taking action. I truly believe that self-confidence is the foundation for handling overwhelm. But the thing is that self-confidence doesn't just hit in the moment. It's built over time. Self-confidence is built through the little wins of life. Every single time you gain something new or conquer a challenge, you cast a vote of confidence in yourself. So what happens is the first time you're doing something new, you're a little nervous. You're like, oh, I've never done this before. This is different. I don't know how this is going to end up. But you take courage and you try it out and you look around and you go, I'm still here. I didn't die. I made it out all right. Well, let me try this. And the cycle continues. I'm still here. Life is okay. I made it out all right. Let me try this. I'm still here. I made it out all right. Oh, a challenge is coming. But you know what? I made it out a 1, 2, 3. I'm still here. I'm going to be all right. And over time, you are building yourself into a more confident person. Over time, those votes build up and you become the person who has full faith in your ability to take on the challenges of life. Self-confidence, it also shortens the wallowing period when things happen. The wallowing period is the time between, oh, wow, this happened, and, oh, but I need to take this action. For some people, that period is 30 days. For some people, they wallow for 30 years. But the confidence you have in yourself determines whether or not you act quickly or linger in defeat. I've also found that a sure bet to you feeling overwhelmed, a guarantee to you feeling overwhelmed, is to lose sight of your priorities in life. When overwhelm hits, everything else tends to fade away and we streamline focus on the stress. But every once in a while, you will find yourself stressing over situations that in the grand scheme of things don't really matter. And the key is to be someone that can refocus on what is truly important. Growing up, my mom used to have this saying. She would say, there's a place for everything and everything has its place. And what she was teaching me is that organization and focus lessens the stress when things go wrong. Are you focusing on the right things? Or are you expending energy trying to fit square pegs in a round hole? It's very crucial in life that we challenge ourselves to always keep the main thing, like Stephen Covey says. I heard someone say, if everything is important, nothing is important. When we treat every task, every problem, every situation with the same level of urgency, we will end up overwhelmed every time. A better response is to refocus on what matters most and take action from there. The good news is you don't have to tackle everything all at once. Like the old African proverb says, how do you eat an elephant? It is one bite at a time. And I would say, how do you beat overwhelm? One bite at a time. Break that mountain down into manageable steps. Another thing that I've experienced in moments of overwhelm, it's easy to feel like you need to do more, be more, and say yes to everything and everyone. And all that is, it is you trying to gain control of the steering wheel. But true strength lies in knowing your limits, setting boundaries that protect your time, your energy, and your peace. Now, beware. People don't like when you set boundaries. I heard someone recently say that People don't like when you set boundaries because they benefited from the fact that you didn't have it. But saying no is an act of self-respect. And when you say no, you protect your peace and you preserve your power to focus on that which truly matters to you. Another source of overwhelm is anxiety over the future. We have a video where I talked about the fear of failure versus anxiety. It was a concept from Myron Golden. You want to check out that video if this is something you're going through. But the truth about anxiety, 90% of the things that we worry about never even happen. And anxiety is based on a future scenario that has yet to happen. This is why it's so important to guard your focus. What you focus on expands, so be mindful of the thoughts that you replay. And when that anxiety comes up, remember that every moment of overwhelm you've felt in your life has passed. Everything in life is temporary. And when you're feeling overwhelmed, the first thing you want to do is ask yourself why. And then after you ask yourself why you're feeling this way, look at your priorities. And then once you look at your priorities, begin to develop a plan. Here's the thing about developing a plan. If you wait to have all of the pieces of your plan together, you will never get started. You don't have to have every single piece of the plan figured out. Movement in itself is powerful. Once you start to move towards a plan, it breaks the paralysis of overwhelm and opens your mind to possibilities that always existed, mind you. You just couldn't see it. The law of polarity says that if a problem exists, the other side of that coin is the solution must too exist. You just have to calm your mind and begin to develop a plan and then take action. And once you've proven what works in an area, make it a routine. Build systems that carry you through life. I love systems. A system is an energy protector. It's something that you do that prevents you from overexpending yourself in an area. So build systems that carry you through even when life feels heavy. Because life will try to overwhelm you. But you are stronger than the chaos, you are braver than overwhelm, and you are more capable than you could have ever imagined. This is your season to rise. I feel it. And on the other side of that challenge you're facing is growth, is fulfillment, and is a life that is more extraordinary than you could have ever even dreamed of. So when overwhelm comes knocking at your door, and it will come knock, identify the cause, develop a plan, take action, and make it a routine. But no matter what, keep moving forward, one step at a time, and claim that life that is waiting for you. You can choose to be passive, or you can go after the best life that is waiting for you. The choice is yours. Always remember that growth is a journey. It's not a destination. I'm in it with you, and I'll catch you on the next one.